Burnley 2, Manchester United 2, and it's live without Amorim. And I tell you what, it's quite refreshing to see. We may have just drew 2-2 with 19th placed in the Premier League. However, to not see a squad full of defenders and then players on the pitch like we're going to go fight Russia, we know it's not perfect. We know there's frailties in this team. We know there's a lot of players not good enough. However, I can accept not winning when we are trying to win games. Even the way we were set up, we had Casemiro, we had Ugarte. Obviously, I know they're both defensive-minded, but then we had our 4 attacking players that were allowed to go and attack, go and be a difference maker. Positive changes when we was drawing. We're seeing more attacking players come on. We're trying to go for it. He took off Casemiro. He took off Ugarte. Under Amorim, we were seeing centre-back for centre-backs. Europa League final, we're seeing wing-backs go to centre-back. Like, that's an attacking change. It's not. We still had our 5 defenders at the back. You can see from last night, there's a lot of changes that need to happen in the summer. There's a lot of players that do need to go. And I know it was only one game. However, these players, a lot of them have needed to go for a while. But it's the intent that as a Manchester United fan, you want to see. I get we can't just live under this Fergie era. It's 12 years on now. That's done. It's gone. But as a Manchester United fan, we still want to see attacking football. We still want to see some type of risk, some type of flair with our attackers and just intent. As I keep saying, intent and purpose to try and win a game of football. If we go into the game, obviously the first goal, it just doesn't start great. Someone runs off Casemiro. A lot of people were saying Heaven should have come across quicker. Again, Casemiro can't just let someone run off of him. And if he does, he's got to communicate that someone is going to run off of him. Not great. Aiden Heaven, he's been unlucky with that goal to concede that. 1-0 down. I mean, let's be honest as well. That deflection was as nasty as Bonnie Blue in her prime. So unfortunate. Lobs over the keeper into the top corner. What can you do? But you know what? It wasn't an amazing first half. But we had chances. We had 2 off the line. 1 from Cunha, 1 from Dorgu. So to be honest with you, we could have been 2-1 up in the first half. Not saying we was amazing, but we was creating. We was trying to do something. We was probing. Again, it wasn't amazing, but guess what? We was trying something. Don't get me wrong. Still at times, you can see the frailties. Casemiro in big spaces. It doesn't work. When there's big space, people just run around him, and you can see the things that are not so good with Casemiro. But like I said, we've said for a long while that there's a lot of players in the squad that shouldn't be here anymore. And hopefully in the summer, a few of them, season by season, can start to go. Now we go to the second half. 2 well-worked goals. Ball into Bruno. Sesko makes the run in between both centre-half. Perfect pass to slide it in. Sesko finishes. Good finish. To be fair, he couldn't really do much else apart from put it across the goalkeeper. Goal. Second goal. Again, you don't always need to be robotic football and doing this and doing that, and this player does here and there. Ball over the top to Dorgu. He comes in short and then spins in behind. Listen, you don't have, not everything needs to be technical. Spins in behind the defender. For early cross as well into Sesko, and a very good finish from him as well. Good to see him get 2 goals. Not everything needs to be picture perfect. It doesn't. But just need more from the players. Like I said, Dorgu done well. He's not even a winger, but he's done well out there. Caused problems for the majority of the game. And that's all you can do. Like I said, that's what we want to see from Man United. People working hard, trying things. That's it. Not asking for a lot, generally, I promise you. You know, if we've not got the players to play like Barcelona, you have to play to your strengths. And this was something that always annoyed me under Amorim. We haven't got the players to kind of play how he wants to play. So you need to adapt and get the best out of the players that you've got. And ultimately, that's what should have cost him his job. It was unfortunately what he said in a press conference is why he lost his job. But again, I get why the board didn't want to give him players. If your dog shits on the carpet, you don't go give him a treat, do you? So at the end of the day, but then we go on to their second goal, and it's just the small details that always cost us every week. Ball goes into the winger. He's playing in like he's come into like a number 10 position, and Martinez or Shaw, not one of them gets tight enough or picks him up. And you know what? It's a good turn and it's a good finish, to be fair. I feel for Lamons because every week he doesn't really do much wrong, but he's picking the ball out of the back of his net. And their finishes where a lot of the time he hasn't really got a chance. That goal like yesterday, great finish. Overall, we had chances to win it. I'm not going to sit there and say I'm buzzing and stuff like that. Like I wasn't a massive Amorim out kind of person anyway. But at the end of the day, we went for it. Ultimately, we went for it. And we didn't see that enough under Amorim. You know, like I said, I'm not buzzing with the result. We went for it. Sesko probably had a chance. Lacey hit the bar. There was opportunities there. There was opportunities there, and we didn't get the win. Not good enough. Definitely not good enough because teams around us keep dropping points. We could have had a big gap to make that top 4. So it's frustrating that we've dropped points against Burnley, against Wolves, against Everton and Bournemouth at home. These what might cost us Europe this year, unfortunately. And it's just not been good enough. Like I said at the beginning, we know there's problems in central midfield and the fullback areas, but they didn't trust Amorim. That's why they didn't buy him the wing backs. And I don't kind of blame him. But again, a decision should have been made sooner from Ineos. It's done now. They need to make sure they get this next appointment right. But again, we know that fullbacks need to be better. Dalot and Shaw are definitely not good enough. They haven't been for years, and they need to do something about that in the summer. Central midfield area, Casemiro in his first season was great, but again, you can tell him and Ugarte together isn't good enough, and it's just not going to be good enough if we want to progress. Quickly onto the players, because again, I've pretty much covered everything anyway, to be honest with you. Lamens, again, he didn't have much to do the whole game. I don't even remember the guy making a save, but unfortunately, he's picking the ball out of his net twice, which is so unfortunate. Both goals, he had no chance. And I feel for him. He's had like 1 clean sheet since he's been at the club, 2 clean sheets. Defensively, we looked all right, but Burnley are not the greatest of teams, so it wasn't the best of tests anyway for our back four. Like I said, Shaw, to be fair, done decent, getting down the left-hand side, putting crosses into the box. Dalot was all right as well at times. Again, you're still seeing them silly, stupid decisions from Dalot, but he'll never change. I think that's just how he is as a footballer. Martinez and Heaven were pretty comfortable at the back. Again, it was just the second goal where someone had to go tight to the man, at Shaw or Martinez. That communication, small details, they cost us. The midfield, Ugarte and Casemiro done okay. Again, Casemiro's got to communicate either with Heaven and say, this guy's going to, well, try and do something. Either follow the man at least put a bit of pressure on him so he hasn't got that much time and space to try and whip across it. And I get the deflection was nasty, but again, I say this every week, it's the small details. But both of them done okay. Ugarte, to be fair, got around the pitch well, made a lot of ball recoveries, but that's his game. And then, of course, Bruno. Found it difficult in that first 20, 25 minutes to get into the game, but that's the quality he shows. There's not many players in our squad that can do that. There's not. And a lot of people are like, oh, they wanted rid of Bruno in the summer. I'll say it again. There's not many players in that squad with that type of quality. The front three, Cunha was unlucky not to score. A little bit of a quiet night from him, and I do feel for him because he was brought in to play centrally in a 10 position. Now the manager's gone. Is he a winger? I don't think he is. He showed good glimpses and stuff like that last night where he would beat a man and he's got the pace, but obviously playing on the wing is definitely not his position. So I don't know how we're going to get him and Bruno in the team. Dorgu, again, I thought done really well. Nothing amazing, but do you know what? He would try and spin in behind. If he couldn't spin in behind, he would come short. If he had time on the left-hand side, he would whip across him for Sesko and hope that people got in there. Obviously, you can tell he's not a winger because when the ball gets whipped in from the right-hand side, he's not there trying to gamble at the back post or trying to get across his fullback. But like I said, he's not a winger. He's not. But I appreciate he's doing a good job of where the squad is currently. But to be fair to him, a lot of people, when Dorgu first come in, thought, wasn't really a fan, doesn't look like a good signing. People forget he's only like 21 or 22. He's playing in and out of positions. He's playing wing back. He's playing right wing back. Then he's playing left wing. Then he's playing right wing. I think overall, these past 12 months, for the money we spent on him, I can see something with Dorgu. He's progressing. And like I said, a lot of our signings we've bought have not progressed. So I think Dorgu does deserve some credit in that aspect. And then Sesko, he had a game of 2 halves. In the first half, he couldn't hold a cup of tea. He couldn't hold anything. Baggy first touch. But then you see little glimpses from him. There was a time where he turned the defender, put the ball out wide, and then got in the box. Got a very good leap on him as well. He can win a lot of headers. And in the second half, great run for the first goal. Good finish. Second goal, even better finish. Should have had a hat-trick. He'll be kicking himself if he didn't get that third goal because that should have been the Sesko game. But again, we're seeing things that other teams have bought strikers. They're not seeing what we're seeing from Sesko. I'm not bigging him up saying he's amazing, but I see something there with Sesko where I think, again, he's a young player. He's 22, 23. A long future for him at the club if he can keep progressing. Obviously, Darren Fletcher's probably going to only be in charge for one more game. He just done it the United way of old. Tried to play solid back line, 2 defensive midfielders kind of in front, let the attacking players with flair do what they want to do. When we was drawing, he went for it. That's all you can really ask for, really. Obviously, we probably do need someone in a bit more tactically aware, especially in games and stuff like that, of other teams' threats. Like I said, down that left-hand side, there was a point where I thought Dorgu could have went and played on the right-hand side because they were getting all their joy on Burnley's left-hand side. So there was a point where I thought maybe switch Cunha and Dorgu because Dorgu's a better defender, obviously. He is actually a fullback. But there's just little things like that where we are going to need a proper caretaker manager in. Ultimately, Ineos, they can't get this next appointment wrong. Not for a third time. And they can't get the next set of signings wrong either. I mean, I don't see what's so difficult. If you want to go get a possession-based manager, you go get a possession-based manager, but give him possession-based players. So if you want a possession-based manager. You go and get Adam Walton, you go get Angelo Stiller from Stuttgart, you go and get in better fullbacks that are good on the ball, or you do what Arteta and Pep do and got good centre-backs that can play out wide but are also good on the ball. Or if you want similar to what Liverpool had when they had that pressing team, they had that midfield of like Wijnaldum, Henderson and Fabinho, then you go and get Baleba, you go get someone like Camavinga, you go get like Tonali, you go get players that are high intensity, strong, powerful, but they need to know what they want from the next manager and then identify the targets and get them. I'm not saying this football stuff is easy. Of course it's not, because everyone would do it if it was. But they're just getting so many things wrong. But like I say, they just got to decide what type of coach they want, get similar players into how he plays and his style of play, and then we can go from there. Do you get what I mean? It's just, there's got to be something, and then they've got to stick to it. If they get a manager in that doesn't go well and he plays that type of football, try to get a similar manager in afterwards, because we just keep having these bad cycles, and it's just not worked. We've had so many different managers. We've had Van Gaal, then we had Mourinho, who's very defensive. Then Oli tried to change it a little bit, and then Ranić come in with a pressing, then Ten Hag come in with a different philosophy. They can't have big, massive changes in every philosophy with every different manager, because it's just not going to work. And these players, again, I get people who say that the players are not good enough. I agree, they're not. But you need to get players in that want to play the way you want to play. Like I said, we've got all these director of footballs and all these people in the board. I don't see how they're getting it so wrong every single time. I generally don't. So pick a style of manager you want, get him the style of players. I'm not saying go mental with it, but we definitely need central midfield players and fullbacks. That is a must in the summer. We've got enough centre backs. We've got some attacking players. Maybe another one would be good, but they can't keep getting it wrong. They generally can't. If you ask me personally on central midfield players, I'd love Walton and Baleba, both Premier League proven. Walton's very good on the ball, technical. I've seen him as well defensively. He can get up against people, and he's got that eye for a pass. You see it against Liverpool in the Community Shield. Seen it against Arsenal as well. He's got a very nice, sweet left foot on him, and that's the type of player. If you want to control games of football, you're going to need a midfielder like Walton. Another one I'd like is Baleba. Again, you see him at Brighton. He's able to drive forward. I get you're not going to have that much space when you play for Man United because teams are going to sit back. However, again, defensively, he's good. He's strong. He's powerful. He goes and gets up against people. I'm not going to say he's like Declan Rice, but similar in that aspect off the ball. That's what we need. We need legs in midfield. We need a little bit more intensity, athleticism in our actual team as well. But again, we also need the quality, because otherwise, yeah, we will be in the same mess with someone, with all due respect, like Ugarte, where he will go and press, he will go and recover the ball at times. However, is he good on the ball? We can see he's not, unfortunately. Of course, as well, it's going to be difficult. Teams know when Man United come calling, they want to rip us off and get the best deal possible, of course. So it's all going to be difficult, but that's why Ineos and all these people at the club are getting paid the money they are to sort these things from early. Go and buy the manager good quality players, but also players that if the manager left, we're not just designed to play for that manager. And I think unfortunately, that has been a problem at Man United for several years. And that's how we've had some stinkers of transfers. Anthony being one of them. I could be here all day if we spoke about transfers.